محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah. He is alone and has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his servant and messenger. I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed Satan. And I begin with the name of Allah. Family, today we're here to discuss a very important topic about the authenticity of the Creator. As well as, the Quranic references or the revelations of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But for the first part, we're going to be talking about the authenticity of the Creator. And I want to first show that around the world, the world's view, dating back tens of thousands of years, has always had a supreme deity with the understanding that that supreme deity is the one that is the creator of the heavens and the earth and the universe, etc. I also want to expose that there's an attack on understanding the science and the knowledge of the Most High Supreme Creator. And this is relatively a new phenomenon that has came about in the last 3 centuries or so, and particularly through the European philosophers or Western thinkers. And many of us have adopted those philosophical views and has actually went astray from that which, ancient cultures of melanated tones and skins have always practiced. So atheism and pantheism, which our brother is a pantheist, and he's going to try to show us that, God is in everything, and the supreme being as the understanding of many civilizations, ancient civilizations, including Islamic texts, is wrong in the perspective of having a supreme being creator. And this is something that the ignorant teaches, and this is something that the ignorant seems to fall in the trap of following. I just want you to understand that you have to listen attentively to what is being delivered here today, and you will see the truth, and you will be able to see the Supreme Creator. Failing to do so is detrimental to your own well-being, and failing to do what? Failing to recognize the Supreme Being is detrimental because it allows us to be infiltrated. It allows us to go away from a moral code, to go away from trying to do things that are positive via the law of nature, via not bringing harm to ourselves as well as those around us. So this philosophy of taking the supreme deity out of the picture is something that is relatively new. It's something that is coming from those who classify themselves as Europeans, as Westerners, and as white people. Not all of them, of course, but this is where this nonsense is coming from. So we're going to expose that today. And I need those that also have this false belief, this false understanding, and this misunderstanding of the Supreme Creator and our connection with that Creator. We need you to really help yourself by recognizing the Most High, because that is something that is innate in us. When you look through history, when you look through many ancient cultures, there's a common theme of Supreme Being as well as the connection with that Supreme Being and ourselves. So to deny the Supreme Being is to actually deny that which is in ourselves, because the scriptures, the Quranic verses, the papyri that is found, the oral traditions of many African civilizations help us to understand that there is this Supreme Creator, and metaphorically speaking, we are the small representation or manifestation of that thing. So to cut off the Most High in our thoughts and our minds is something that is unintelligent, and is something that is most detrimental to our well-being. And this is why we fall into many of the traps that we see going on today, in particular in the Western world. So with that, I'm waiting to put out the information, and I need you to follow me closely, because I'm the only one that's going to be teaching here. The brother Sa Ra, and I'm reluctant to say brother, because anyone that wants to promote white supremacy under the scope of, black power is someone that's truly an enemy to the people and an enemy to themselves. So we want to give the dead life today, and we want those that are living to be edified in the knowledge and the information that I'll be bringing to you, inshallah.
Without further ado, over to my man, Sa Ra Garvey. Let's hear what you got to say, brother.
Okay. Opening statement time. The authenticity of God and the origins of Muhammad's revelations. Now, the title of this debate makes presumptions and assumptions. The presumption is that the general public will accept this premise, and the assumption is that they'll believe it. Now, to speak of the authenticity of God, all right, you are asking us to accept that this God is actually Allah when it comes to Imam Bashir's paradigm, and all other gods would have to be dismissed. So we would have to dismiss Bedru of Japan. We'd have to dismiss Cadmus of Greece. We'd have to dismiss Jao of Nepal. We'd have to dismiss Tammuz of Syria, Adad of Assyria. Now, why would we have to dismiss all these other gods? We dismiss them because they did not use the requisite amount of force, theft, tyranny, murder to enforce their beliefs and export their own theological brand of terror that exceeds their own borders. Now, before we can even go and look at that paradigm, okay, we first have to go back to the cave of Hira, 1,400 years ago, where Muhammad, okay, allegedly had an experience with an unseen force who did not even have the common courtesy or decency to inform him of who he was in the first place. Any authenticity has to be first viewed through the lens of whether it is or not implausible or plausible that the story can be believed. If it cannot be believed, right, it falls at the first hurdle. There were no witnesses to this event, okay? We are asked blindly, as human beings, we are asked blindly to accept the faith of and the word of an illiterate Bedouin Arab. Okay, we have faith in this illiterate Arab, this illiterate Bedouin, and we gamble our lives on the words of this illiterate Bedouin. Now, the belief in this illiterate Bedouin and his apparent revelations led to millions of Africans being enslaved, many castrated, women raped, and children molested. The apparent revelations, right, of this illiterate Bedouin asks critical thinking human beings like you and I to stop thinking and start believing in the most foolish of notions, okay? Flying horses, entities made of smokeless fire, and my personal favorite, Satan living in the upper part of your nostrils at nighttime, right? Now, this belief system and its adherents have many faces. Imam Bashir has one of those faces, okay? It has many faces. One face is the face of ISIS, right? Which condones women beating, blowing up children at concerts. And, you know, then the other type of Islam seems to project this Disney type, you know, tolerant view of Islam, where all the Kafirs can live together in harmony, and all the Jews and all the Christians, we can all live together, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. So you have to realize that there are different faces to this thing called Islam, right? And Imam Bashir is just another face. Now, the Islam that Imam Bashir speaks of is schizophrenic, okay? It's racist and it's dogmatic, okay? This Islam that he follows seemingly does not even have the power, right, to civilize his personal behavior. As many of you saw, right, 2 days ago on the pre-warm-up show and how he acted then. So this Islam that he's trying to force on you, it can't even civilize him. Okay, let alone he's going to try and force it on you. So listen carefully to Imam Bashir in this debate. Listen carefully to his tactics. Trust me, because if he hears a Sahih hadith that he does not like, he's going to say he rejects it. If he hears a quote directly from the Quran that he dislikes, he will say that I have misinterpreted and it's misinterpreted. And if I challenge him, yeah, and I'm going to challenge him forcefully, it will lead him to resort to ad hominem attacks. Yeah. So using purely Islamic sources, I'm going to repeat for the third time, purely Islamic sources, I will prove that Muhammad was an immoral, suicidal, white man who owned black slaves and was a child molester who had sex with a 9-year-old girl named Aisha. Okay, I will also show that Allah, in his concept, in his worldview, is merely a concept thought up by human beings who cannot logically substantiate the parameters that they actually give to this entity.
Like, I wish I had a gunshot there. Boom! Yeah, like, God damn it. All right.